Okay, I've kind of showed this before, or made this before, but I'm bringing it up now just because something similar, I think, is happening, and we may have not, or may have learned lessons from the past. About 7 years ago, many of us who were kind of newbies to the awakening scene kind of went crazy about this comet Elenin. And just like with, the Mayan prophecy, some people think all the hype was that, oh my God, it's going to hit the planet Earth. Now, I don't really know anyone who does this seriously, who really put their money down on that. But nonetheless, if you do remember the comet Elenin phenomenon, there were so many indicators of something very bizarre going on. I mean, the Elenin element of it was weird. We didn't know if that was real or not. They just discovered it. It was going to literally pass closest to the sun on 9/11, the anniversary, and then closest to the Earth on 11/9 of 2011. And that day, Obama had planned on having that national emergency broadcasting test. And so we're all freaking out. All right. Everybody on all these YouTube channels, and back then these channels were all virgins. They were new, and on pretty much everyone got some fame one way or the other as predicting something accurate. But I'll never forget this incident where somebody got a hold of a NASA webpage that actually had information about the comet, because they weren't putting stuff out, and Google even blocked it out from Google Space, And in retrospect, it's pretty clear that, well, watch. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. This is the page, and this is what it looked like 7 years ago. I remember going onto this page. It's not fake. I think it's gone now. But at the time, I definitely saw it. I want you to look at the numbers as well. This is on the 22nd of August. It is dated 22nd of August, 2010. Look at the numbers as well. I don't think anyone else that I know of has seen this yet. 1111 space read. Now, those of us who saw this in August of 2010 said, what the fuck? We're about to get hit by the meteorite. The meteorite is going to hit the Pacific. Holy shit, dude, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we forgot all about that because all this other crap went down in between then and the next month and the next 6 months. Then I remembered Nainania, the prophet, and what she said, and then what happened.
Before I start, I just want to say this message is not for people.
I saw this original air. People didn't believe it, but I saw this originally.
Who still do not understand that something is about to happen. I want to spell this out for you.
The axis of the Earth shifted 3 inches as a consequence of that 8.8 earthquake. The day is no longer 24 hours. It's been shortened by 1 microsecond.
You said there are 5 major cities that should be concerned.
In our lifetime, we could very well see one of these cities destroyed. We will actually see this happen, perhaps. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Tokyo, Mexico City, Tehran in Iran. In our lifetimes, we could see one of the great metropolitan areas destroyed. And remember,
completely destroyed?
Leveled.
Okay, guys. You gotta ask yourself why an astrophysicist is giving you a warning about geological changes on the planet, okay? Now look, February 27th, that's when the Chile earthquake happened, okay? I'll scroll down a little bit so you can look at this and see the map, see where Chile is. That's on the Pacific plate, that's the Ring of Fire. Now look at this. February 27th, 2010. Astrophysicist. What's happening on February 27th? He said the axis of the Earth shifted. there is a perfect alignment of comet Elenin and Earth. Do you see that? You got the sun in the center, you got Earth right there. See where it is? And there's Elenin. Okay, that's your answer right there. That's why they have an astrophysicist giving us the warning. Look, here's the tectonic plates. He said Tokyo, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Mexico City, and Tehran. They're all on the edges of the tectonic plates. Okay? Let's go back. This is today. This is earthquakes. Just today. Okay? Tokyo, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Mexico City.
March 9th. It's on March 9th.
Go back. All right, let's go forward and see where the alignment is this year. Notice that the comet is getting closer to us. The axis shift is going to be greater this year. Does that make sense to you? I hope to God it makes sense to you.
Pouring on you.
I'm sorry, but people are not listening to me, and it's making me very upset because I'm trying to help you here. All right, now look, March 11th is this Friday.
There.
It's coming into alignment, and it looks to me like it's in alignment around the 13th.
I saw this on March 9th. Once word got out about this, and then 3/11/11, because it was after this we started seeing numbers on clocks, happened, and the Japanese quake. Everyone called her a liar. Everyone said that she changed the dates on YouTube. They may do that now. But back then, I saw her video 2 days before the quake. I was watching the news, waiting for something to happen, and the quake happened. And she got a lot of shit for this. And to this day, still gets harassed and targeted. And she's just a single mom with a kid. What's the lesson? The lesson was that first video I showed you, we had forgotten about that. Because everyone was all caught up. That's not going to be where the comet hits. They're right. It wasn't where the comet hit. That was in August of 2010. That page was taken down 3 days later. That's the only video I've seen on YouTube of it. That X mark was the epicenter of the quake. So they were warning us. They were trying to tell us. They're not going to give it to you on the mainstream news, but they will leak it to the conspiracy theorists. They're not going to give it on the mainstream. And I don't know if it's going to be a big quake. I live in California, but something is going to happen in the next 60 days. That's all I know. I would be more vigilant than usual. I would keep extra cash, and I don't have cash, so I would keep an extra $20 bill, extra drugs, extra booze, extra water, extra propane, extra food, and charge your batteries for your cell phones. Extra battery packs. Electricity issues. Exactly.
Even the mainstream media has had to admit, because he's on record, predicted with over 90% certainty exactly what's going to happen with the weather a year out. Nobody else can do that because the main meteorologists don't follow the moon. What happened?
Yeah, well, we were in the park when it happened, so we escaped into an old locomotive they keep in the park for kids to see. And so we were pretty safe, fortunately. But what made this earthquake so different than others, which Japan is hit quite a bit by earthquakes, besides the intensity, was the length of it. I mean, this must have lasted about a minute and a half.
The site is rattling many Americans. The really big one examines a titanic earthquake and tsunami, but not where you might imagine.
A fault line called the Cascadia Subduction Zone runs for 700 miles off the Pacific Northwest coast. Experts think it will trigger the worst national disaster in North American history, and it is overdue.
The New Yorker quotes a FEMA official who says, and I quote, "Our operating assumption is that everything west of Interstate 5 will be toast."
The last big one was 315 years ago. We think the cycle time is roughly 240 years. Do the math. We are overdue in this calculation with another big one.
We've known about the Cascadia subduction zone for quite a while. It's a serious risk. A big earthquake in the Pacific Northwest could be the worst disaster the country has faced.
It's predicted to be worse than Hurricane Katrina, worse than the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Scientists and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, scientists and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, scientists and FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, are warning of a pending doom for the Pacific Northwest. An earthquake along a little-known fault line that would kill thousands and affect millions.
Consider that the magnitude 9.0 earthquake in Japan, just a few years ago, remember that? Killed more than 15,000 people in the north of Japan and injured thousands of others. Seismologists say that the quake that will strike on our Pacific Northwest coastline should be even stronger, at up to a 9.2. They call such a quake a margin rupture quake, and it's every bit as bad as it sounds. Here's the reason for it. Our entire continent sits on the North American tectonic shelf, right? Plate, I should say. Off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, from the top of Washington State all the way down to Northern California. This is it. And another plate called the Juan de Fuca is trying to slide up under North America, but it's stuck. We have an illustration over here in the big wall. Let me show you.
Say, hey, you need some help, we're here. With FEMA, with GOSEP, all of those agencies, with the National Guard, with the Marines, I mean, we are definitely talking, and they are willing and ready to assist the city of New Orleans should disaster strike. But what we also have to be mindful of, and this is coming from FEMA, is that FEMA will not touch us until hour 72. So that's 72 hours after an event. And that means that locally we have to be not only more proactive, but responsive to the needs of our citizens as relates to commodities even. It's something that we're very much concerned about. But we know from FEMA that they said, listen, hour 72 is when you can expect us, not before 72 hours.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Listen to me. Remember your brakes and switches. Get ready to fire it out. Coming in too fast. Watch your speed. He's coming